Hey guys, welcome back to Talkin' Shop Podcast. And how about them Buckeyes? OH?
I-O, baby.
Yes, sir. We're going to kick it off. Hottest results that just popped up today was the Great Lakes region, and obviously a lot of Ohio teams in that from our Division I folks. The Ohio State Buckeyes, they had a rough Big Ten meet that dropped them down to 6th place in the region, ranking-wise. They pulled together today. They got a big runner-up finish. They will be rocking it in Oklahoma State Rimrock course. I think that's what it's called.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, they figured out their problem from last week, which was their 5-runner, Morgan Schmidt.
Yeah.
They pulled up, and Daniela Santos' sister, they got her running. She was their 5. It did a very good job. And, of course, you had that big 3
Santos.
of Addie Engel, Daniela Santos, and Andrea Kuhn.
Yeah.
All 3 in the top 9 for Ohio State
great.
women. That's phenomenal. They moved up really well over the last 2K and just showed out really well out there. So a very surprising performance because I believe they were coming in ranked about 23rd or 25th.
Slight fact check. Audrey DeSantis is not related to Daniela Santos.
No way. Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Okay,
Wrong
sorry.
last name.
Sorry about that, folks.
Check that.
Close enough,
I
right?
didn't think she had a sister.
Check that. Regardless,
But
Ohio State lacked a 4 and 5. They pulled it together.
they were ranked 25th.
I don't know about you
this
guys.
past weekend,
25th.
by the way. 25th.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I was watching this race the whole time, and obviously Addie, Danielle, and Andrea Kuhn were kind of at the front, and I was just thinking the whole race, it's not going to matter because they're 4-5.
Yeah.
And then they were sitting 6th at the 4K mark, and over the last 2K, they moved up 4 spots. I mean, when you look at kind of their team over that last mile, Addie Engel moved up 3 spots, Daniela Santos moved up 8. Andrea Kuhn moved up 10, and then I'm not sure about the other 2 off the top of my head. Their 4th actually lost a few spots, and then their 5th as well moved up 2 spots. But moving up 4 spots over the last 2K is phenomenal.
Right.
And pulling off, obviously, some big wins over a lot of teams that beat them last week.
I know. A
Michigan,
lot of Big Ten teams.
Michigan State,
They beat
Wisconsin.
I mean, this was a Big Ten race. They would have. Well, obviously, some of the Big Ten teams are in the other region, but they beat all the Big Ten teams today in the Great Lakes region, which is probably the better one. Wisconsin and Michigan are in it.
Right.
I still would like to see that fifth runner a little better. 61 points. That's lower than everyone till the 8th team. Butler was 70th, was their 5 guy. But regardless, they moved on.
Automatic qualifiers.
They're dancing for sure.
Automatic qualifiers. I mean, I'm trying to think who was all ranked in front of them. Michigan State was 19 coming into this. That's going to be
Toledo, 16th.
It's going to be big
And then
points.
Wisconsin 22nd,
Right.
Michigan 21st. So they were ranked
17th. Toledo 17th.
17th.
Toledo 17th.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's talk about some other Ohio teams that raced today in the women's field, 6K over at Terre Haute.
It's pronounced Terre Haute.
We had a little debate on this.
So we're
before.
gonna go Toledo women. They've been on fire all year. They ran a pretty good race today. It wasn't anything like on fire as they have been all season. I know that they know it, but I mean they are still looking to get out on a bid.
Yeah.
I mean they were ranked 17th, ran really well at the Nutty Comb Invitational. That definitely counts for something. I mean, it's not like they lost to like any unranked teams or anything like that, and the points were pretty close too. So they should be.
Everyone who
It'll
beat them
be
is ranked.
close.
It will be close.
It hurts that they fell all the way to 6th.
Yeah.
I think if they were, even 5th, I think that would help them a
That
lot.
was 2 points off, so they were right there.
So people who are listening, if you don't know, there's a big formula for how you qualify to the NCAA national meet. There's 9 regions, 2 people automatically make it, and then there's a subcommittee who kind of looks over things, and then there's a point system as well for teams that you have already beat during the year where you've placed, and then after that they'll take the next 11 teams or 32. They take 32 now to the 32 teams to the national meet. So there's obviously going to be a lot that goes into that. Most notably for Toledo, their Nutty Comb performance is where they'll pick up a lot of points.
Yes.
The points that count significantly are if teams that you have already beat this year qualify then to the national meet automatically, specifically. So, Toledo women are hoping and praying that some of these teams at Nutty Comb, Syracuse specifically was right behind them at Nutty Comb. Syracuse is usually a lock on the women's side. And then there's, of course, some other good teams. All the races haven't gone off yet, so we don't know for sure. But obviously we're rooting for the Toledo women.
Yeah. and I'm trying to pull up the Syracuse region.
Before we do the Syracuse
Syracuse
region,
got
though,
second, so Syracuse automatically qualified. So
There
that
you
bodes
go.
extremely well for Toledo. That'll be a lot of
but
points.
even if Toledo does not qualify as a team, which we are very much hoping that they will, OHIO, Joy Chichir and Faith Linga
Yeah.
should have individual qualifying
marks.
spots locked
Yep.
down because
Correct.
the people that beat him were all Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Wisconsin,
State.
And
Michigan
why
State.
that's important, because what Nathan said is in each region they take the top 4 individuals that did not make it on a team.
Yeah.
So obviously you can see why this takes a long time, because yes, the top 2 make it, but then after all the other regions go, some more teams might make it. So you can, theoretically end up with a ton of individuals coming out of one region. But
Absolutely. Yeah. So that, obviously, like schools out west, that will happen. So many good teams and stuff. But another runner that could potentially make it out, Carmen Riano. She didn't have her best day, but definitely not a bad day either. She got 15th, and she lost to Faith Linka, who got 10th, then Joy Churcher. But every other person that beat her is going to be on a team that makes it out, it looks like Michigan, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Notre Dame. So Carmen Riano has probably a pretty solid chance of making it out, but we'll see,
Yeah,
which would be cool.
absolutely.
hopefully lots of Ohioans looking
love to see
to
it. And
qualify.
I'm looking at my notes here. I actually did a who could make it out, who should make it out, or who should make it out, who could make it out kind of thing yesterday to kind of check myself on that. And for the women's side for D1, I had Toledo, Addie Angles, Danielle Santos, Carmen Riano should make it out and could make it out, OSU. And it looks like some of that flipped. It looked like OSU will make it out, obviously. And then Toledo could/should. Obviously, Joy's going to make it out. And then Carmen could. And then, yeah.
It's gonna be tight, because obviously the Great Lakes region is gonna take more than 2. You would sure think Michigan, then Michigan State, Wisconsin, obviously around Toledo. Those teams are tight. You look at that point spread. Notre Dame wins the meet in 34, and then 2 through 6, 111, 116, 124, 129, 131.
A 7-point difference between 4th and 6th place.
Can't really
Right.
say, you can't really say Toledo ran bad necessarily. They just got beat to a bunch of teams that they could have beat on any given day.
Yeah.
That's why you run it.
Yeah.
What we always say here, that's why you run it. Today they fell on the short end a little bit, so hopefully they still make it and can prove themselves next Friday.
Absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see how a lot of those things shake out. Ohio State, I think, was disappointing at the Big Ten meet, but
Yeah.
they're set up well. Addie Engel,
They're
I think,
fine.
was is
Yeah.
right now in the exact same position she was last year, second at the regional meet. I want to say she finished right around 60 last year at the national meet. She's obviously set up really well, only 3 seconds behind the winner.
Right.
So, like you said, it'll be interesting to see where a lot of these Ohioans finish.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if it was Joy or Faith last year. I believe one of them made it in the 10K on the track individually.
Yeah, Joy.
Gotcha.
That's right. Addie Angles actually ranked, according to Lactic, 19th in Division I overall. So
There you go.
that's big time All-American
Have they already
position.
factored in this meet?
1 second. No.
Okay, I was going to say,
this
that'd
should
be,
bode well for it, though.
yeah, definitely will be
Yeah.
voting very well.
Want to flip it to the guys' side?
Yeah, let's move over to the men's side.
Unfortunately, MD Timing Results has not officially posted the final 10K time, even though that race started an hour and a half ago. And we think it's because of some kind of dispute, maybe, or something.
Because
the
there's a
results were
contest,
up.
right?
Yeah, the
There's a contest period after the race. Thankfully, we have phenomenal memories
We got
here.
the Noah Graham
Um,
screenshot here.
But
and,
we got the
also
Ohio,
good memories.
we got the Ohio
course.
guys ingrained in our brain.
Of course
so,
we do. First of all, big things from Arjun Jal, Thomas Warrington grad. He will be moving on automatically. He got 4th place, and they take, at least 4 individually. And Michigan might make it out of the team. They probably will. But either way, Arjun Jal will represent Maize and Blue next week at Nationals, which is awesome. And then other big shocking news, Baidy Ba, 7th place finish.
Yeah.
sophomore from Kent State.
Hey, man. I don't know.
Who runs at Kent State? Nobody runs at Kent
not,
State.
Not me.
Baidy Ba does.
Baidy Ba does.
Baidy Ba does, and he does it well. I don't know if we have a fact check on it. I don't know if we could get a fact check on it. But when's the last time a Kent State individual, or hell, even team, made it to nationals in cross country? Men's. I don't know.
I'd want to check.
Ever?
Eamon-
No, I'm just
Eamon's-
kidding. Definitely before.
Eamon Scullion about a decade and a half
Oh, yeah.
ago. I know he holds a lot of their records
Okay.
there. He would be who I would check.
Okay.
Uh,
Baidy Ba, though.
Yeah, very interesting. Baidy Ba 2 weeks ago was 7th at his MAC meet, 7th at his conference meet.
Yeah,
He took
that's
7th
right.
and he bounces back and then takes 7. Just might as well just take 7th in the whole dang region while you're at it,
Had a
right?
bunch of other good teams, and he still gets 7th, man.
Takes down every single guy.
Hell, I hope he gets 7th at nationals at this point.
Yeah, he deserves it.
That's sweet.
Looking at it realistically, there's no reason why he shouldn't. So, yeah.
What, get 7th? National?
Oh, I thought you said that hopefully he qualifies. I'm like, yeah, you should definitely
No,
qualify.
man, he should get 7th
I was
at
like,
nationals because he got 7th at regionals. And
lucky
conference.
7s.
Lucky number 7. Osafeta didn't have the best of races. I think he got like 21st. He won't make it out, unfortunately, but he had a great season, so props to him. So Baidy Ba was actually ranked behind a couple of these guys that he destroyed today. Osafeta, Tyler Worth, Milo Greeter of Cincinnati. I don't think UC had the best of days. I don't know
They
for
did
sure.
not. They were 10th on the day.
That's not where they wanted to be.
Not where they
I
wanted to
remember,
be.
I
Got
think
beat by
Miami
me.
got 7th today, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And then Toledo maybe 8th or 9th. 8th, I think.
9th.
9th.
I mean, those are fine. I mean, they got beat to a bunch of Big Ten schools that are probably better than them, but I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you guys
followed by-
think?
Yeah, about pretty much what you said.
It's
Cincy
pre-
10.
Probably just like an okay day for everyone,
YSU
except for Baidy Ba.
11.
YSU 11. They had a pretty
Fine.
decent performer
They did.
up
They
front.
beat Eastern.
Chase Easterling 30-54 on the day. That's not a.
That's pretty.
That's that's
Mhm.
a pretty decent time.
For
I'm
that
sure that he
course.
wanted a little bit more out of it, obviously. But I mean, that's how it always is. It feels like in this sport.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But I would say, I mean, pretty decent performances
So
on the
overall,
guy's side.
Ohio guys that will be running next week: Arjun Joel, Baidy Ba.
Yeah, and
That might be it.
yeah, woman carried.
Ohio women are dogs. No knocking the men. The
Ohio-
women are dogs.
Yeah, that's just that's. I mean, it's true. All right, guys. Now we're gonna go back in time a little bit to GMACs last week. We're switching it to Division II. Kind of wanted get you guys caught up on that from the Ohio schools from Ohio for D2, obviously. First of all, it was rather gusty in Findlay, Ohio last Saturday. where
Yeah,
the meet
as
was
we
held.
mentioned on the high school podcast earlier, 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, because it was the same day as the state meet, obviously. But yeah,
It was tough. I was really battling out there, going over the last K, especially last
Yeah.
K into the finish, directly into the wind. I believe about
it was for
20,
sure.
25 mile an hour winds. You had gusts going a little bit higher throughout the race.
25
it-
miles per hour.
It was a pain cave over there.
Yeah, I did. I was standing at the finishing stretch when everyone came in, and if you could just see the look on everyone's face as they crossed by me, I mean, it was probably one of the most painful races anyone could possibly go through because that last 100, 200 meters was all in just direct wind.
Yeah, there was not a pretty face in sight coming
Right,
into
not,
the finish.
Not really.
It
Well,
did not.
yours was pretty, but
Thank you, Hunter.
Yeah.
And it did not help, especially in my case when I was coming away and I was kicking, and some of my teammates were saying, "He's coming for you. He's coming for you." He was not coming for me. I had to leave, but it
Nathan-
made me go even harder.
Nathan
Well, and you
third.
But that's fair enough.
Couldn't hear anything. The winds just filling your ears.
Right. So, quick results. Top runners, Kref won 24:05. Fisher 24:15. Nathan, you were 24:26. Foster 24:30s. Round that out. So, it was a pretty good, really good day for Walsh, honestly. Obviously, Walsh is
Washman,
legit. Not
yeah.
to toot our own horn, but it's a good team. Was expected to win. We won.
Nothing crazy.
Just nothing crazy. Andrasic ran pretty well for Tiffin.
He did.
was kind of struggling all year. He had a good one today. Maybe not time-wise, but time was so irrelevant that day. It's just because of the wind and everything.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, it was still.
he got 8th, I
The
think.
thing is, if the conditions were good on that day, let's say it was a little cooler, and the big factor, obviously, no wind, that course would have flown
been
like
blazing.
no other.
Yeah.
That is probably the best footing I've ever had on a course.
And it was flat.
Maybe, and it was the flattest
You could
course
see
I've
from
ever
one
ran.
end to the other.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
beautiful. If we got it on the right day,
Flat Earth.
we would have been seeing some really quick times, but fortunately, it was not the
Unfortunately,
case.
It's not our sport, unfortunately. Alex Keller, PR. Yeah, but he's a really good guy, as you guys know. But yeah, so that's the men's side. Cedarville women, very dominant, podium contenders. They won with ease. Not much else to say about that.
7th in the nation right now.
Yeah,
Dominated.
so they actually have a shot at podium,
Made
which is
ev-
top 4.
Made everybody else look silly.
Yeah, just it's what they do over
20
there.
points.
Right.
Disgusting.
And the last thing I want to talk about the GMAX, this is the the way the awards were given out, this has bothered me for some reason. They did it backwards. They started with Zach Kraft. They gave it to medal first. They went 1 to 10, then 10, 11 to 20. It's the opposite way. The hype is when you go 3-2, who won? Zach Kraft, number 1, let's go. It's just not as hype when you're like, Zach Kraft won, and then you're like 19th place, blah, blah, blah.
Let out that frustration, Hunter.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just felt like they did it wrong over there. I would have liked to seen a little descending order, so.
Hopefully they listen to the pod and they can change it next year.
Yeah, hopefully. But, that's D2 for you. They got regionals next Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
It's at the Foot Locker Regional Course, Kenosha, the 10K version of it. So, hills for breakfast, they say. But yeah, let's do a regional preview of Division 3, kind of rounding this out here today. And it's a little bit quicker of an episode, a little less races to talk about, obviously. Men's side, I got my notes for who should make it out, who could make it out. This is who should make it out of the D3 region, which will be held in Hope, Michigan tomorrow. From the men's side, we got JCU should make it out after what I saw out of them at conference.
Yeah, very strong.
Case Western's actually ranked ahead of Otterbein now. They should make it out.
Really? Did they beat them at OACs then?
Case Western's not in the OAC.
Oh.
They're in a different conference,
Okay.
but they jumped
That's
them in the
right.
regional rankings.
Awkward.
Otterbein will make it out. They're obviously they're hurting a little bit. Cal's coming back from injury. He's been on and off. Some guys, some def issues, but Otterbein will for sure make it out still. And then individually, I got Simon Hayes making it out, Noah Tobin of Wilmington making it out, Jeff Joseph from Mount Union making it out, and then Vincent Clementi from Mount Union. I think all those guys will end up making it out.
How many individuals make it out on the D3 side? Is it 4?
I think it's the same as D1. Maybe it's more.
because isn't D1 the only D1 uses a different formula?
They're the
than
ones that do it.
everybody else.
Yeah, I think it's more, honestly.
Yeah. Division 2 is, I believe, 2 for regionals, or is it 4?
No, there's that. I don't know about automatic for individuals, but there's like a decent amount of like at-large individuals that make it out of D2. I feel like because the guy who got like 15th in the D2 region last year made it to nationals and stuff.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
So I think it's more in D3 as well, and that's why I think I have Simon and then those guys make it out. Then this is who could make it out would be Wilmington's team, the whole. They're ranked like 4th in the region, I think, from what I saw. If they put their 5 gets put together, they'll make it out. Same with Mount Union. They also have kind of def issues, but if they pull together, they'll make it out. And then Connor Kolka of Wilmington. This is the first time I've mentioned his name. He's actually rated like 12th in the region individually wise, and he's beaten some pretty good guys, so he has a chance of making it out. So good luck to those guys tomorrow. From our women's side, we got JCU's team should make it out. Macy McAdams of Muskingum, who won OACs, who has a lactic time of 17:23 from OACs.
Oh, she won OACs?
Yeah, she destroyed it.
Over the girl from Baldwin Wallace?
Hole Murphy died a little bit, unfortunately.
I gotcha.
And then ONU's number 1, Tess Pitchkovich, I think, should make it out. And who could make it out would be Claire Walter. She's gone 21:36. Holt Murphy and Brittany McCauley all have shots at it, and we wish them the best of luck. But yeah, that's D3, and we'll see those results live tomorrow, obviously.
Yeah, looks like it was a little slower day out there at the OACs.
Yeah, Muskingum University is just not a place to run fast, unfortunately. It's a lot of hills, a lot of elevation, but that's all right. It's fun racing no matter what. The views are pretty spectacular. But as we wrap it up, we had our question of the day. I asked you guys what watch are you guys rocking with, and the people have chosen 78% said Garmin, 13% said Coros, 8% Apple, and then other 1%. I don't.
Who's rocking the Apple Watch?
There's
Who's
people.
rocking the other?
Who's rocking the other?
What else do you wear?
Yeah,
Timex?
Timex.
Timex Ironman?
Maybe he's not a believer in GPS
Just
watches.
stopwatch it.
Are you
Maybe
carrying
he's a stopwatch
carrying
guy.
a clock around with you?
What do you guys? You guys are Garmin, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm Coros.
That's right.
Garmin
Yeah.
all day, baby.
I'm also Garmin, just not
Okay.
wearing it.
I'm straight.
All right. I
Garmin,
was on
of course.
Garmin for a long time. I had the Garmin 235 for probably like 4 years,
Yeah.
like freshman year to sophomore year all the way to freshman year of college. And I had to get rid of it because the pixels on it just started dying. And so I picked up a Coros. The only thing really different is pretty much just like track mode, I guess. And it does it tracks your sleep. Well, I guess Garmin does that too. but
Yeah. Wait.
Does
What?
do that
It's a
as
pretty
well.
it's-
generic feature. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly all running watches are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
just find a
Except
cheap
Apple
one.
Watches. You ever tried to take splits on an Apple Watch?
Oh.
You can't do it. Doesn't work.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you
yuck.
It's miserable. If you're sweaty or it's raining, forget about it. Doesn't work.
Yeah, except if you can find a Garmin watch some of the Garmin watches have music on them, I believe, that you can preload it.
Mine do.
You do?
Mine
Yeah.
does.
That's
Chorus don't
clutch.
have those.
Yeah, that's one thing I do not have on this.
Ooh.
That's the one factor I wish I
Well,
had,
I
but
would think you could buy a Koros that has that. I'm not as well versed in the Koros
I don't think they
watches.
do.
Well, they should.
Yeah, they
They
should.
should.
But
But yeah, that's our watches of choice. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah.
Garmin wins. Garmin is the superior watch right now, unfortunately, from the people. But do we have a music mode on that thing?
Doesn't appear so.
Wow.
yeah.
Chorus is really screwing themselves over right now. But yeah, that's our episode, and we'll see you next time. Next week we'll probably talk about some national preview for D1, D3, then a regional preview. And I'm sure we got some high school stuff.
NXR this weekend should be
Yeah.
fun.
So we'll get
the
that.
entries are hot. Every good person that you can imagine in the surrounding Midwest NXR region.
the greater
is there.
Midwest region.
Everyone's there from Ohio. Everyone's there from Indiana, Illinois. The top 5 teams that are ranked nationally in the Midwest region are all there. It's gonna be fun.
Well, there you go.
It's interesting how there's so many national meets. I feel like these days there's the
Running lane.
running lane, there's the Foot Locker,
That's
and
new.
the
Well,
the
champs now.
NXN, the champs.
Yeah,
I
of
can't believe
course.
they changed that. It makes me mad. But anyways, it's just weird. Like there has been a long discussion of like who is the true national champ, and I wish there was just one national champion to
I've always
figure it
thought
out.
that too, yeah.
It used to just be Foot Locker. That was the only one that
Yes.
existed.
Kenny. It's called Kenny Nationals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then Nike came along for teams.
It'll be interesting to see, and I kind of talked about this with Tommy Race the other day when he was on the podcast, where we think people are going to end up this year because last year there was no NXN, so
Yeah.
I think you saw a lot of people drifting to obviously running lane, but these meets get so far out. Like all the Midwest teams already had their state meet, so I think that's why you'll find a lot of these like NXR. Competitions around here, whereas a lot of other people, like last year, Newbury Park's state meet was the week before Running Lane.
Wow.
Last year, Running Lane was over a month after if you had the state meet in Ohio. Like, so
Yeah.
you talk about those things, it's where a lot of people end up drifting.
So we need to standardize when. And it sucks because like Alaska, I know has to do their state meet so early because it gets so dark.
Yeah.
There. They can't do it in November. They have to do it in like early October, I think. That's what I've heard
Yeah, no, it is like that.
because it's only like 2 hours of daylight by that point.
has anyone in Alaska competed at NXR? Can we get a stat
Yes.
on that?
Yes, there is. I was actually a kid from like
Cool
2
Nash
years
is
ago.
good.
Yeah, he's sub
D2.
15 kid, wasn't he? He was
Yeah,
really good.
He was.
Wait,
He went to NAU, didn't he?
Something like that.
didn't what's her name? The small girl or Boise State runner girl. She's from Alaska High School. She's really popular. Runs professionally.
Not sure.
Not.
It's beyond me.
Okay, I really want to figure out
They
who
did
this
the
is.
athlete special for a while. Gosh darn it. I forget.
Beats me.
Gosh darn it.
Well,
But if you had a choice to run at a national championships,
have to go Nike.
Nike,
Foot Locker's always been my boy.
Foot Locker,
That's what I
really?
really wanted
You're
to make
old.
it in.
You're old school.
He is
I'm-
old.
An old school man.
Yeah, for me, I would go NXN. There's something about
Well, the gear from XN obviously is superior.
well, it's not only the gear.
okay.
It's
okay.
the aspect of going to like Track City, USA, in
Balboa
Oregon.
Park, you know.
Yeah,
Balboa
I know
Park is
Balboa Park's
beautiful.
cool, man, but it's
Yeah.
Tracktown USA. You get to go see on Nike's headquarter campus,
That's
dude.
fair.
It's
I
literally
can't
like
compete with that.
it's running city. Like you have everything there in that city for you. Like it's
Yeah.
just a cool experience, especially if you get to go with a team. That would just
That's-
set
that
it
is
over.
true.
That'd be
That'd
so
be
much
awesome.
fun.
That'd make the experience a little better.
You get to
for sure.
travel with those same guys.
Yeah,
I'm sure you
Nike
probably
made
feel like
the
that as
right
well.
move, marketing their stuff, their meet towards teams, and they pulled the individuals too that way. And just with all the gear, all the fancy stuff they've done, very smart decision by Nike. Running lane, pretty much, you go to running lane if you want to run ridiculously fast. And I
Well,
think that's
okay.
about
Well, this year, Running Lane and NXN are on the same day. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We got Alex Keller on here. Oh, sorry. October 8th for the Alaska State meet. Thanks, Alex Keller.
There you go. If you're in Alaska, you want to run a national meet, you got a month later. All right, college podcast turned high school.
Apparently.
Talking Shop podcast, Ohio's #1 running
We
podcast.
out.
Noah Graham, Hunter Moore, Nathan Moore.
See you next
We
time,
out.
folks.
so yeah.
Alex Keller.